Good morning, everyone. Welcome into another edition of the Morning Edge. New week, new money to be made. DeadPresPicks with Krabs Bets. Krabs, lots to get into, man. How was the weekend?
Weekend was all right. Didn't hit too many bets, unfortunately. Yesterday, we only had like 4 or 5 games, a lot of blowouts. It is what it is. But hey, brackets are out. Been studying, been crafting up the brackets for the last, 12 hours or so since it's dropped. And I'm excited, man. We have some great matchups coming up this week. I know you're going down somewhere for the first 2 rounds. I'll be out in Vegas as well. We're in for one heck of a week, Matt.
Yep.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I'll be in Orlando. So if anyone here on the stream is in Orlando, let me know. We'll be around watching some games, Krabs, trying to make some money. But definitely, we are going to do an entire bracket breakdown today, guys, on round one. So episode might be a little longer than usual, but we'll power through it. Lots to get into. We're gonna get into some bracket busters, and then of course we're still gonna talk some NBA with our best bets of the night. First, Krabs, we got to recap the Thunderdome, and I hate to tell you, I got another ring. And listen, this one wasn't pretty at all. It's not one I'm going to celebrate because I still went negative. I just did the least bad of the three. So there it is on the screen, guys. It wasn't a pretty week. It just wasn't. We'll be honest with that. But we ended up, at the end of the day, not making money, but we had fun doing it, and I was able to add my 8th Thunderdome ring. What do you think about that, Krabs? Tough week in the dome.
Yeah. It's just not good enough.
No.
That's all I'm going to say. Not good enough. Need to step it up. Need to be better.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
Okay.
One and two is not going to pay the rent. It's not good enough. So got to step it up this week. You're in trouble.
Yes. All right. I will be right, and it's going to be a fun week because we got March Madness plays. So just getting it out there that this is going to be a big week for the Thunderdome. But happy to add another ring on my end. All right, let's get right to it, guys. Before we do that, there is a big giveaway here that we're doing, Krabs. A little promo. March Madness OddsChecker bracket challenge. $1,000 in prizes. All right. So the coolest part about this is it's free to enter. You don't have to put up any money. Now, how you sign up for our free play pool is you just can either, if you're watching on YouTube, the link is actually in our description. If you're watching on Twitter, which I know a lot of you are, head over to our page at OddsCheckerUS. You will see this tweet pinned, and that will link you to where you got to go. So if you want some extra action, I don't care how many brackets you're in, get in as many as possible. It's free. So again, not entering it does not make any sense because you don't even have to put up $1, and the winner is going to walk away with $1,000. So big time March Madness bracket challenge. A lot to get into there. Going to be a good time. Comment your winners, guys. Let us know what you're on. Let us know some matchups you want us to go over. Best time of the year. Could not be more fired up. Was up all night last night, Krabs, going through these brackets. So there it is. Make sure to enter that. Make sure to enter for sure. All right, let's get to it. Let's start looking at the bracket. Here it is. What we've been waiting for all year. Look at this. All right, we're zooming in. Shout out to Nigel. Best graphic ever. All right, so we got the we're gonna start in the south, right? We'll go left, down, right, up. All right, that's how we're gonna work through this. So we got a pretty good region here, Krabs, right? Not bad. Got Bam out there, Zona. The 4 and 5, maybe they could be dangerous. Let's start with that Alabama game. No upset there, right? We're in alliance that Bama just wins this one with ease.
No, I mean, come on. There's usually I feel like with the 1 versus 16, there's one team that's lingering around out of the 4-16 seeds that maybe is down by a handful of points at half, and makes it a little bit weird. And then the other 3 games are just absolute blowouts. So I think we lock in probably all the 1 seeds. I really don't think we're going to get a UMBC type situation this year. Go ahead and start with Bama.
Yeah, I think we'll see Bama kind of take care of that one with relative ease. So I don't think we're going to waste too much time on that Bama game. All right, Maryland, West Virginia. This is one that is a much better game, much more exciting game. What's your thoughts on this early? I think Maryland is opened as a 2.5-point underdog here.
Yeah, so I've been watching these lines since they dropped last night. Opened up around 2, now dubbed these up to 2.5. I still like the Terps to advance here. You're going to be hearing the narrative they can't win games away from College Park. West Virginia's been on absolute fire recently. But I'm rolling with Julian Reese and co. I'm rolling with Kevin Willard and the Terps to win a game in March Madness when people don't expect them to. against the Red Hot Mountaineers. I like the Terps here.
Yeah, I actually agree with you here. I'm going to take the points. At first, I looked at it. I was all in on West Virginia. I think Maryland's a better team, Krabs. I do think they're more talented. And why don't we just take the points in a coin flip game? So I like the Terps. And they did struggle for sure away from home. This obviously isn't a road game. It is a neutral site game. So not going to look too much into that. Experienced guys on this team. I think you mentioned really good coaches here. Did a great job kind of getting them right back into the big dance. So, yeah, I like the Terps. I'll be on the Terps with you. So that's going to be a good 8-9 matchup to kick us off. All right, San Diego State, Charleston. How about this one? This could be upset alert. I actually do like Charleston in this game. What's your thoughts on it?
Charleston's going to be everybody's public darling this year, I feel like. And the line opened up at 4.5, which I did think was a little short. Now it's up to 5.5. And I know we're talking, who's advancing here and not just bets, but it's good to kind of look at the lines while you guys are filling out your brackets too. I honestly do think the Aztecs advance here and win. We've heard the Mountain West, get roasted for, their past performances recently, especially last year when everyone was gassing up those 4 teams and nobody won, right? So I think this is the year the Mountain West finally does something, and I like the Aztecs here. I think Charleston's a little public, and towards the end of the season, they kind of slowed down a little bit. It's going to be a tough matchup against this defense, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think so I'm going to take Charleston outright here, Krabs. That is the team that we'll do our full brackets later in the week, but I got them dancing all the way to the Sweet 16, actually. So experience.
Hey, we're not going to agree on everything. That's how it goes, and that's good because we're not going to be right about everything too. So
exactly, yeah, exactly. So that's what makes fun. But no, I think this will be a really good game. 2 completely different styles of play, though. Charleston obviously wants to play fast. They want to run things up a little bit offensively. San Diego State, they want to turn it into a rock fight, slower pace game. It really comes down to who can control the pace of the game. So I think if Charleston can control the pace here and make San Diego State play from behind, kind of play a faster pace, that they could pull it off. But I think that's going to be a really good 5-12 matchup. All right, Virginia Furman. Krabs, I'm seeing a lot of Furman love. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing here. What are you thinking? Any chance for an upset here for Furman?
I'm blown, man. I wanted to take Furman, but they are the most public team, the most public mid-major at this point to make some noise. And that doesn't mean everything. But against this UVA defense, against Tony Bennett, very disciplined team, even without Vanderplas, I like UVA to advance. I have them going to my Sweet 16 and winning this game and beating Furman, unfortunately. Furman's a very good old team. They can shoot the 3 ball very well, but not a great matchup against Tony Bennett's disciplined Cavaliers.
Yeah, I almost feel like Virginia is one of the most, disrespected power conference teams here in the tournament. I don't know if that's because the ACC had a little bit of a down year, but this is still a really good Virginia team. You mentioned Tony Bennett, one of the best coaches in this tournament. You got experienced guys, Kihei Clark. They have other guys in that lineup, Jaden Gardner. These are older players that I don't think the moment's too big for them. So I actually think Virginia rolls in that spot. You mentioned Furman, kind of like a public dog right now. A lot of people liking them to win, be an upset team, but I don't think that's the spot for them. So I'm with you. So I got Charleston advancing to face Virginia in what should be that'll be a fun second round game if we do get there. All right, Creighton, NC State. This is a game that intrigues me a little bit. 2 really good offensive teams here, so you could see this one run up a little bit. What's your thoughts on this one? NC State or Creighton? Who do you like?
I got NC State. I got the Red Hot Wolfpack shooting the heck out of the ball again, like we saw them towards the middle of the season. I'm going with Joyner. I'm going with Smith to take out this pretty mid Creighton backcourt. I know they have Kalkbrenner and a couple guys down there in the front court that are pretty solid, but they do not defend the 3 ball very well at all, and that's a bad matchup against NC State. We saw what they did against my Hokies. And against the rest of the ACC in that tournament, they were shooting the lights out, right? So I think NC State actually wins this game outright and advances.
All right, so they are a 5.5-point dog right now. So if you do like that, also, get good value on the money line. I got Creighton winning. I don't know about the spread in that game. Got to look more into that, but I like this Creighton team. I think they could be real dangerous here in the tournament if they get hot. They could fill it up. All right, Baylor. They got the Gauchos, right? That's who they're playing. Yeah. All right, so we got Baylor here.
Gauchos.
Gauchos, yeah. Shout out to my boy Mike. He's the biggest Gauchos fan I know. Baylor, though, Krabs, this is a team I'm all over all season. I think they roll in this spot. What's the spread in this game? Do we have a spread? We do, right? Every game has a spread.
We do. It's 11.5, pretty big.
That's big. That is a lot. But I think they cover. All right. I like Baylor a lot. You have experience at the guard position. You have Keontae George, one of the best young players in the nation. Drew, one of the best coaches. I just love everything this time of year. This is when you want to buy stock on a team like Baylor. So, yeah, I think Baylor gets it done, and they advance here and move it along. What's your thoughts? You like Baylor to get it done?
Agreed. I will say, I think the Gauchos are slept on. Nobody's really talking about them or taking them, and they have some stud guards. They've got A.J. Mitchell, who's an absolute dog. He carries his team. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be weird, but I do think the Bears pull it out in advance.
Okay. All right. So maybe they cover for you. The 11.5, that is a lot of points this time of year. So definitely a lot of points there to get in a March Madness game. All right, the two last games in the South, Arizona, Princeton, Krabs. We're not going to waste too much time there unless you got the Tigers pulling that off. But I think this
no.
Missouri, yeah, I think we're in alliance. Arizona survives that one. All right, Missouri, Utah State. I like Utah State a lot here, and I'm seeing I was getting a lot of criticism for this pick, Krabs, but I think me and you both like Mountain West as a conference. I think it's a better conference than some people give them credit for. Now, Missouri actually comes into this game, I would say, relatively hot. They got knocked off by Bama, but that's Bama, right? I mean, they played them pretty tough. They actually did not end up covering that game, even though they covered the majority of it. Bama got a late cover there. But I like Utah State. I think they have, the offense to get done here. If they get hot, they're a bit of a streaky team. But if they get hot from three, they're a tough out. So I like Utah State to advance in that one. Who do you got there?
Give me Utah State. I'm with you. They're a favorite in the spot against a SEC team. Always a little eye-opening there. Probably for a reason. Give me the Utes. They were on fire too before losing in their championship the other night. So, yeah, give me Utah State. Love it. Love that they're a favorite. Love that team. Love Ashworth. Great cohesive unit there out in Utah.
Yeah, but both pretty hot teams, as you mentioned there. And Utah State also, yeah, I mean, losing in the championship game to San Diego State, nothing to hang your head on. So like the fact that they're entering that hot. Also, you mentioned they're a favorite despite the public actually being more on Missouri, but the line has continued to move to Utah State. So I do like Utah State a lot in that game to begin with, and the line makes me like them even more. All right, let's switch regions. We're gonna go down here to the East. All right, so the 1 seed in the East, Purdue, Marquette the 2. They're the 2 favorites to come out of the East. Krabs, I got to be honest, I don't have either of them coming out of the East. Let's get into this one then. Purdue, you got Purdue surviving round 1 here. They'll face.
Yeah, I mean,
Early Dickinson, right?
Yeah, they're going to win that game. I mean, Zach Edey will win that game himself.
Yes.
But they might run into some trouble in that next round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're right. I think that's one to watch. We'll obviously get more into that, but Memphis, Florida Atlantic here. All right, this is an FAU team that was ranked for a small portion of the season, 31-3. That's an impressive year. Who they lose to? UAB, Middle Tennessee, and I forget their other loss. But nonetheless, pretty impressive year. Then you got Memphis, who does not.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss got them? Ooh, well, that's not a great.
Yeah.
I guess for FAU, it's not that bad. Technically, power conference. They just hired Chris Beard, by the way. But yeah, that's definitely a kind of a bad loss. Nonetheless, Memphis, though, knocking off Houston yesterday. Obviously, Sasser did not play for Houston. It's still Houston, right? I mean, they were still a 6-point dog even after the Sasser news. They feel good about how they're playing right now. What do you think?
Love Memphis in this spot. They're going to beat FAU. They're going to knock off a mid-major darling here. And then they're going to face Purdue down in Fort Worth in the round of 32, a place they're very familiar with playing in, a place they just beat Houston in, their conference championship. So a court they're familiar with, they play well on. Kendrick Davis knows. I love Memphis's path here, and I love them to beat FAU to start it off.
I got Memphis all the way to the Sweet 16, Krabs. I got them winning this one, then they're knocking off Purdue. They're playing with confidence right now. Kendrick Davis, one of the best. I think he's one of the best players in this entire tournament. I'm going to drop my top 10 tournament players later in the day. He'll be on there. I mean, this is a guy that can take over games, can flat out fill it up. You mentioned FAU, probably a team that a lot of people might just, a casual better and, tournament bracket filler looks at the 31-3. They get fired up, Krabs. They get excited and they think it'll be an easy win. I think the way Memphis plays, their style, they're physical, and they're playing with so much confidence at the moment. I think they win this game. I don't want to say with relative ease, but
they're doing what they did last year, bro. Remember last year they went on a run at the end of the season, and then they got hot and they won some games in the tournament. I think we see the same thing here.
Yep, they got hot. Yeah, they have the guys to do it. So I do like them. All right, I got to tweet this one out, Krabs, because this is for some reason this is like the most talked about first round game. Duke and Oral Roberts. All right, Oral Roberts is a pretty now from a betting standpoint. I don't know if this is true, but from bracket fillers out people, I see a lot of Oral Roberts knocks off Duke. I don't think so. I think Duke actually rolls in this game. Give me your thoughts on this.
Yeah, Oral Roberts is very, very good. Not a great matchup there for the ACC champs, unfortunately. Not a great draw there for Duke, given there by the committee. But I'm with you. I have Duke going very, very far in my bracket. Won't reveal, everything here. We're going to go over the official one soon. But I got Duke advancing. I've got them going pretty far. I don't think a very public Oral Roberts team is going to get in their way. This team's had magic in the past with Max Asmus. He's still back. He's on this team. They're very good. Don't get me wrong. This is the best Oral Roberts team they've ever had, best record they've ever had. But this is not the year to back them. They already had their magic, a couple years ago. They're public this time around. That's when you fade. That's when you back a team nobody wants to take here, and that's Duke after just winning the ACC tournament. People hate Duke, number one. Number two, they're going to say, well, don't want to back a team that just won their conference tournament, which is usually true, but in this spot, with how well Duke's been playing and how good Filipowski is, nobody on Oral Roberts can freaking stack up against him. He's a 7-foot, point forward. He can dribble a little bit and do everything. So good luck, Oral Roberts. You're going to need it.
Yeah, I think they get rolled here. Here's the thing with Duke too. I mean, no team hotter right now in college hoops. So if they win this game, it'd be 10 in a row. They haven't lost a game in over a month. And the game they lost, they actually shouldn't have lost. It was that missed foul at the end, right on Filipowski, that went into overtime against Virginia.
Yep.
Listen, like you said, people love to hate Duke. They're fun to hate. I hate Duke. I think most people do. But right now, there is no reason to fade Duke, especially against a mid-major kind of like Oral Roberts that you mentioned. The public loves because of their name, because of the run they went on last year. They know a couple players from the team. That's no reason to back them. I think they're going to really struggle in this game. They just don't have the athletes to match up with Duke. You mentioned Filipowski, but Roach is playing the best basketball of his career experience, a guy with a ton of experience. And then this is a team, Krabs, that just has a ton of five-star athletes all over it. Derek Lively was the highest recruit coming into the year. He's had a little bit of an underwhelming season from a statistical standpoint, but I think he's the best rim protector in college basketball right now. I mean, this kid can block anything. You have, kids all over the court. Mitchell's a guy who missed early in the year that has come along a little bit. Proctor's a guy who can really shoot it. They just have too many guys for Oral Roberts to keep pace with in this game. So I think Duke is actually being a little bit overlooked here in this first round game, in this East in general. We'll get more into Duke. I have them making a little bit of a run here, but that's one to keep an eye on. All right, here's my first big upset in the East. I got the Raging Cajuns knocking down the Volunteers.
Wow.
Yeah, knocking them out.
Okay.
All right, so I did tweet out a bracket last night, Krabs, that had Tennessee, and then I sat down and I said, all right, this isn't my official bracket. Got a little carried away last night. I had one seed going to the Elite Eight or Final Four or something. I had no one seeds in the Final Four. All right, so I was a little out of control last night. But I sat down, I thought about it. This is an upset one that I do like now, Krabs. I think out of the Sun Belt, they get it done here. Tennessee is a team that struggles offensively to begin with. Ziegler's out, right, for the year. That is the only guy on Tennessee that I really think can create shots. I'm not saying they don't have good shooters. Vescovi's a pretty good spot-up shooter. Key is a decent shooter. I mean, he can get going at times. They have bigs that, have some post ability, but they don't have a lot of pure shot creators, in my opinion. So I like Louisiana pulling off the upset over Tennessee here. Give me a 13 to knock them off, and they keep dancing. This is a game, in my opinion, you can be kind of risky with because I have Duke going to the Sweet 16 either way. So, if you're people who do March Madness brackets know the first round games, typically they don't kill you, right? You can take some chances. It's those later games that get you more points. But now Louisiana knocks them off. Take them money line, take them spread, whatever you want to do. Tennessee's dead. I do want to shout out Rocky Top, though. They made me a lot of money this year, so I'm kind of sad I have to fade them. Without Ziegler, they're dead. Goodbye. Go home. It's over. So Louisiana.
Yeah. I don't hate that upset. Nobody's taking him. Nobody wants to take him. Jordan Brown is an absolute dog, the Arizona transfer on the Raging Cajuns. He scores almost 20 points a game. So, you want to be back in team Cinderella stories, upsets, dogs that, not everybody's on, right? That's how you
Yep.
win. And this is definitely one of those teams. So, yeah, no Ziegler for Tennessee. That's huge. The total's a little bit higher than I thought in that game with how good Tennessee's defense is at 136. I thought it'd be in the 120s. That's a good sign for the Cajuns as well.
That is. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they're going to have a lot of Krabs. These people hate this. A lot of people saying Tennessee easy.
Not easy. Shouldn't be easy. I do think
Yeah.
Tennessee probably wins this game, though, but I do think it's going to be weird. I'll definitely be on the Cajuns on the spread for sure.
Yeah, I'm talking spread more here. But no, Ziegler is without a doubt the most important team and most important player to that team. So without him, I do not expect them to make. And again, if they win this game, that's fine. I just don't think they're going to go on a run. I think they'll be out by the Sweet 16. But I like the Cajuns to get it done. All right, here's a game a lot of people wanted to headline: Kentucky Providence. This is a big time game. 2 power conference teams going at it. Listen, I like Kentucky to win this one. What's the spread for this? Is it 3?
Spread is at 4.5 now. Opened up at 3.5.
All right, so it's continued to go. Yeah, it's continued to go in their favor.
Yeah, moving towards Kentucky. I do think Kentucky wins this game. I'll be honest with you. I think Sheway is going to prove too much against that pretty weak front court there in Providence. Providence, they are full of magic, and it's scary to fade them. I totally get it. But a great draw for Kentucky here, and I think they roll and take advantage of it.
Yeah, Providence, they're frauds, Krabs. Kind of been saying, with nobody. And listen, Providence kind of backed into this tournament. Like, I was looking at bracketology yesterday. I didn't realize how on the bubble they were. So they were one of the last teams that got in. Actually, wasn't because they were ranked. They were ranked most of the year. So that is a very big deal. Alex Workman is very adamant, Krabs, that Ziegler is not important to their team. I would disagree with that. I believe he leads them in assists, and he's top 3 on the team in scoring. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I think he's the
I will say they have played well without him. I've been impressed with how they've kind of filled the gap and played without him. I think they've overperformed without Ziegs, I will say. So if that's what he means, I agree. But it definitely matters that their star young point guard is not out there for the game. It 100% matters.
Yeah, I would say, Matt, when you lead the team in assists, points, steals, it probably plays a factor. But what do I know, Krabs? I just, just
a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Definitely probably matters. All right. Kansas State, Montana State. All right. Any upset here for Montana State, or you think Kansas State gets done?
I've got Montana State winning this game. I do. They've got Specs, an absolute beast, Bayo in the paint. He should be able to feast against Kansas State's weak front court. They don't really have any good bigs. They have Dave Ngessen, the transfer from VT, who couldn't even get minutes there. So it goes to show you what they're working with down there. And they've got Raekwon Battle now, who drops almost 18 points a game. So now they have a guard. We heard this team make a noise, last year in the tournaments. They made it, but they got blown out. I think they get some revenge, and they played much better the second time around. Bayo's got a March Madness appearance under his belt. Raekwon Battle, huge addition there for their front court. Dude's an absolute stud, can score on his own as well. So I definitely like them to cover. Lines moved from 9.5 to 8.5 already. And I think they win this game. I'll be honest with you. I have them moving on.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think we see anything here. Kansas State, what a year also Jerome Tang has had there, coming over from Baylor as Scott Drew's top assistant. Done a really good job with that Kansas State team. They could be dangerous this time of year. So, I don't see any upset there from Montana State. I think K-State rolls that one pretty easy. All right, this is a game that a lot of people wanted to get into, Michigan State, USC. Krabs, I'm seeing a lot of USC love as a dog here. People might be forgetting about Tom Izzo here in March. I want your thoughts on this one first, then I'll get mine.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with the Red Hot Spartans, man. I think they win this game. Tough matchup, once they face Vermont, and we'll get to that game in a little bit. But I do think they take down a USC team who, Boogie Ellis is nice. He's been playing better recently, but I'm not impressed by USC. They haven't won many big games. Michigan State playing the best ball of their season. They're playing for more than just basketball. We know they had a shooting there a couple months ago, and they've been playing much better since then. They had a home game. It was very emotional. And ever since that game, they've been kind of playing, they've stepped up their performance, to be honest with you. So, they still have Hogar. They still have, a lot of really good guards here. Tyson's an absolute stud. I think Michigan State, Tom Izzo, makes a little bit of a run here, potentially.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Michigan State wins the game. I'm seeing a lot of USC love. But here's the thing with USC: if you can take out Boogie Ellis, I think they're very beatable. And with a coach as good as Tom Izzo, I don't think you don't stop great players, but they can limit his production. USC only has one other player that averages double figures. That's Drew Peterson, and he's a solid player, but he's a guy that I'm willing to say, all right, go ahead and beat me. You mentioned Walker and Hogard. I think they're two of the better guard combination in the tournament. I think they're two guys who can really fill it up. They're hard-nosed guards, play physical, fast basketball. Going to come down to those other guys there for Michigan State. The production of a guy like Joey Hauser, how he shoot the ball. He had a pretty good year shooting it. I think he averaged a little bit over 14 a game for them. Tom Izzo this time of year, their Krabs don't want to fade him. I think he comes up with a good enough game plan for USC. And again, you can limit Boogie Ellis in this game. You have a good chance to win because there's really only one other guy on USC that can score with consistency, and that's Drew Peterson. And if you watch USC games, kind of does that old-fashioned dad versus son in the driveway back down fadeaway shot. He doesn't play the most pure form of basketball. I think they could slow him down in this game. All right, this Marquette game, right, against Vermont. I just heard you say against Vermont. You got Vermont knocking off Marquette here in round one?
I do.
Wow.
I do. Don't let the Catamounts get hot. Yeah, don't let them get hot. I love this Vermont team. Dylan Penn, their point guard, who transferred over from Bellarmine last year. He's a stud driver, and he's been dishing to, four dudes who stand on the arc who absolutely drain threes. So they struggled in the beginning of the season to kind of mesh with their new driving guard. And now, since halfway through the season, it's absolutely fit like a glove. They haven't lost a game since Nam. This team is absolutely cracked out, playing their good basketball, best basketball at the right time. And Marquette really struggles to defend the three ball as well. They're like 200th in the country at defending the three. What does Vermont do? They shoot 42% from three, and they're going to give Marquette one heck of a struggle to get through this tournament and advance through the first rounds. I've got Vermont knocking them off and winning this game outright.
Wow. What's the spread for that?
Spread on that is 10.5. 10.5, open up 11.5. So get it while you can.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So this is what I'll say. I'll say Vermont probably keeps it, like you said, somewhat close. So I think they could cover. I don't think they win. Obviously, that's not a bold take, taking a 2 over a 15. But I like your take, a little bit of an upset. I have Marquette going on a run, though, here in the tournament. They come in, they won the Big East. I get that, narrative sometimes fade the team that just won their conference. But Marquette's hot, man. They just – every time I've gone against them this year, they've proved me wrong. Shaka Smart has done an outstanding job kind of putting them back on the mat. One of their best years in school history. So they have so many guys that can get it done, that could fill it up, and get it. All right. So let's shift gears here. We're gonna go across. Which way are we going now? Oh, all right. So we're going up to the Midwest. We got Houston, Northern Kentucky. No waste of a time there, unless you got the Nords winning that game, Krabs. So we'll go Houston. All right, Iowa Auburn. This is a game that should be a good one. Someone DM'd me last night, said take Auburn. It's basically a home game for them. What do you think about this game?
I like the Tigers. They opened up a small dog and now are a betting favorite, now laying 1.5 in this spot. Look, we saw Iowa flop last year. I think they do it again here personally. They're not playing too good a ball right now. They lost to Nebraska and Ohio State in the first round of that freaking tournament to start off their conference tournament there. So Auburn, I kind of like what I've seen out of them. I trust Bruce Pearl come the postseason, right? And I love that line flip. Even though they lost that tough game to Arkansas to end their little SEC run, I still like the Tigers to win this first game here and get back on track. I'm back in the SEC and trusting them in the first round here a lot. Yeah,
should be going there. All right, we're going to try to pick up the pace a little bit. 12:03 right now, so we got a few more segments to get into. So we're not going to touch on every game,
sure.
But we'll hit a few more here. All right, Miami. Wait, who does Miami? They don't play Iowa State, right? No, I think that was. All right, so Miami plays Drake in that first round game. This is one though. The line Krabs 2.5 for Miami. This so very short spread for a team that personally I love in Miami. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, line opened up at 4 briefly. Watched it move right in front of my eyes last night. Pretty crazy. I love Drake. Love Tucker DeVries, coached by his pops. This kid's an NBA player. Does not belong in that conference, but he carried them throughout the year. They've got a nice point guard in Roman Penn. I love Drake not only to cover this game, but to beat Miami. and advance. And I know it says Iowa State there, but it should be Drake. I think they win this game and they beat Miami. They knock them off.
Yeah, I'm all right. So this is one we'll disagree on. I got Miami pushing it all the way to where do I have Miami going? Like the Elite Eight or somewhere. I have Miami making a run. So listen, I think if Miami can get past, this is going to be their tougher game. I'll say this: I think this will be a tougher game for them than if they advance and play Indiana or Kent State. But you mentioned it, Drake's a tough team. But you know what? I've been on the Miami train all year. I think offensively they're going to be too much for Drake to keep pace with. All right, this is another trendy dog, Kent State over Indiana. What do you think there? You think there's any chance they get it done? It's kind of scary. I think too many people like Kent State, so I think it might be one of those bets where Indiana actually becomes the sharper angle here and can get it done.
Kent State definitely public, man, already. That line has moved, though, a lot. Opened up around 5.5, now down to 4 some places. Pretty wild. So they are getting hammered with bets. I did say before the MAC even finished up that I was going to back whoever in the MAC comes out of it in their first game. And I believe in that conference. I think those teams are stacked. Sincere Carey is like Steph Curry 2.0. If you guys haven't watched him play out on Kent State, he's a bucket. I'm still going with them, even though they're public. I know I've seen them all over my feed too. Not good. But I am backing Kent State to win this game and beat Indiana with their incredible card play they have.
Yeah, we'll be opposite there. I do think Indiana gets done. Do they have the guys who can match up with Jackson Davis, Hutchfina? We'll see. Obviously, it's hard to tell. Kent State plays in the MAC. Indiana's playing tough teams every night of the Big Ten. So we'll see if they can come in and get it done. But I do like Indiana to advance there. All right, this is going to be an upset one. So that Pitt mistake game, Krabs, who do you have there real quick, just so we can kind of like make the bracket a little bit easier?
I've got Mississippi State, but either way, I like whoever to advance.
Okay. All right. So I was opposite. So I have Pitt, and then I have Pitt beating Iowa State. But we're both knocking out Iowa State early. That's always fun. Why not? Let's knock them out. I hate Iowa State. All right. Xavier and Kennesaw State here. What's your thoughts on this?
Another public team a little bit here in Kennesaw. They're getting 11.5 points after opening up 12.5 point dogs. So line moving in their favor a little bit. But I do think Xavier pulls this game out, unfortunately. I do think Kennesaw probably covers. This team is incredible. They had a 4-star kind of start up their program a couple years ago when they were one of the worst teams in the conference, and he's built them up to be an absolute force this year. I do think Xavier wins. I think they get back on track after that atrocious performance the other night in that conference championship. But it's going to be close. It's going to be weird. It's going to be tough. Xavier sneaks it out barely, but that's what I got going from that game.
I'm going Kennesaw State out right there. That's going to be one of my bigger upsets.
Wow.
I'm fading Xavier. Just not a big Xavier guy. Obviously, they lost Fremantle for the year. They've played pretty well in his absence. I get it. Just a gut feeling here, but I definitely think Kennesaw covers, obviously, if I'm going to take them in my bracket outright. Give me an upset there because, like I said, I think it's going to get weird there in that region. I think we're going to see a couple double-digit teams in the round of 32. All right, this could be the best first-round game. A&M Penn State. Penn State and A&M both going on a run there in their respective conference tournaments. Penn State, when we did the show on Monday, like last week when we did it, I said, hey, let's take Penn State. It was on DraftKings, minus 120, yes, to make the tournament. That could not have been more free. They moved themselves all the way up to a 10 seed. A&M feels a little disrespected there as a 7, obviously finishing in second in the SEC. I thought they'd be a higher seed here, Krabs, but I do like the Nittany Lions to pull this out. What do you think?
Man, this is an incredible game. Two teams playing their best ball of the year. I wish they did not get matched up against each other. They don't deserve that one bit with how they've been playing recently. But I'm backing Buzz. I'm going with Tyrese Radford. I'm going with Buzz Williams, Mr. Blue Collar coach there. He's built up this program, brought him back to life. Unbelievable coach. Great job he's done there. Great leader of men. Really respect him as a person and a coach. He came to VT and turned our program around like that. So absolute stud. Love what he's done there in A&M. And I think he continues rolling here. I think they beat Penn State through Tyrese Radford locking up Pickett. Very similar guards, big physical driving guards. I think he kind of takes Pickett out of that game. And that's going to cause Penn State to struggle because they run their entire offense through him. So line's moving our way, 2.5 to 3 already. I've got A&M going far. I'm not going to say how far because I don't want to spoil anything, but I've got them going far, and it starts here against Penn State. They win.
If you say Colgate here, Krabs, I'll be scared. But anyway, yeah, I do like Penn State. I think that's going to be a good game, man. I mean, they're both hot right now. Penn State, they showed in the tournament how difficult they can be to match up with. They play kind of a weird offense because they don't have any dominant bigs, but the back down with Pickett, and then they kind of just play through him. A lot of teams show him some doubles. They can really shoot the ball. Andrew Funk, one of the best shooters in the conference. We know Miles Dredd can fill it up. They have guys who can just shoot. So, I think it's going to be a good game, but I do like the value. I kind of have it as like a pick 'em, so I'm going to take the points and run with Penn State. Please tell me you're not doing Colgate Krabs so we can move on to the next one and the final one.
Colgate will cover, but they will not win. They shoot the 3-ball incredibly. They built a dynasty in the Patriot League. Tucker Richardson, Keegan Records. These guys are absolute studs. Everyone on the team can shoot. They will give Texas some serious trouble, but the Longhorns do pull it out late and win the game in advance.
They're nothing more than a toothpaste to me, Krabs. I'm just gonna trust Texas there to get it done. Colgate does not scare me at all. All right, let's move it along. Final region, guys. Then we're gonna go to our bracket busters, and then we are gonna do our best bets as we close out. Kansas Howard. Do not like Howard to get this one done. 22-12 on the year, but Kansas is gonna end their season. Arkansas, Illinois. This is gonna be a fun one, I think. Arkansas opened 1.5 or 2, right? And I think they're up to 3. So favorable line movement for the Razorbacks. I love Arkansas here. I have Arkansas Krabs going all the way to the Elite Eight. So I have Arkansas winning this game.
My goodness.
I know, this is scary. I have Arkansas winning. I got them knocking off Kansas. This region is like insane for me. This is my upset region. But nonetheless, listen, from a talent standpoint, they're a top 10 talented team in this entire bracket. I'll say that. Whole March Madness. Thing is, for them, what I worry about is experience. They're very young, but they're going to have 3 guys from this team drafted in the first round next year, and they'll have a couple other guys that if they do enter, that'll be drafted. They're insanely talented. I think they get it done. Illinois, for me, offensively, they can go on some serious droughts. If you can shut out Terrence Shannon, I don't think they have other guys who can hurt you. They don't have that post presence like they've had in years past with Coburn. Coleman Hawkins is a decent player, but not a guy that scares me. Eric Musselman, one of the best coaches in college basketball. We saw what he did last year. He's going to have a good game plan. He's going to be well prepared. I think they roll past Illinois. Love Arkansas.
I'm with you. I'm on the Razorbacks. I like it.
There we go. All right, St. Mary's. Okay, I think we had a little bit of a scrub here.
St. Mary's playing VCU.
Yeah, VCU. Okay, yeah. All right, so it's St. Mary's versus VCU, not TCU. We got the last 2 letters right, but the first one wrong. I like VCU though in this spot, Krabs. What do you think? Where are you going?
I'm with you. I'm on them to advance. It's a hilarious matchup for St. Mary's. They really struggle when they get any pressure on the ball. That's when they lose games. That's when they turn the ball over, and that's when they stink. And they have to go up against probably the biggest, press defense and one of the most aggressive defenses in the country, who's playing their best basketball of the season. Yeah, good luck. I think St. Mary's loses this game outright. I got VCU moving on.
Yep, I agree. I think VCU playing good basketball right now. That is, if you like offense, don't watch that game. That is going to be a rock fight, in my opinion. Going to be a low scoring, kind of a dragged out game. But I do think VCU is a very good dog there to pull that one off. All right, UConn facing Rick Pitino and the Fighting Gals. I got Iona winning this one. So this is another upset that I have over UConn in this first round. You got an upset here? Or you trust in Hurley and the Huskies?
I think it'll be weird, but I just don't think anybody on Iona can really keep up with Sonogo, to be honest with you. So I'm going with UConn to pull it out. Probably not cover, but to win.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's one I think it'll be a fun game. Get Rick Pitino facing a Big East team in the tournament. What else could we ask for? Should be a fun one there, but that's that's another upset pick that I have. All right, TCU, a team, Krabs, that you have some futures on, I know for sure. So they will either play Arizona State or Nevada. By the way, I can't believe Nevada got into the tournament, something we're not going to have time to talk about. Who was left in, who was left out. Rutgers people out there, they're not happy. Clemson people. Nevada should not be in my opinion, but I think Nevada is new life facing Arizona State. Arizona State, Krabs, if they don't hit that half-court shot versus Arizona, they're probably not in. So these are 2 teams that probably just feel lucky to be here. I think Nevada wins, and then I think TCU beats them. Anything there that you think would happen where TCU loses?
I think Nevada would give TCU more problems than Arizona State. I do think Nevada wins that game. It is a revenge game though for Desmond Cambridge, the stud guard on Arizona State, playing against his old school in Nevada there. So a little bit of a weird angle. That one could be personal. That's going to be a whatever they're called, playing game that we definitely need to watch, keep our eyes on. That's probably the best one there is. But either way, I got TCU moving on and winning this game.
Yeah, definitely gonna be a good one for that. Is that one Wednesday night? I think tomorrow night's Pitt. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's a game that you want to watch. Some of these, playing games aren't always great. That's gonna be a really good one. I think it was what was it, Rutgers Notre Dame last year? That was one of the better games of the whole tournament. So those games can be good. All right, 2 games to go before we move on and head towards best bets and our bracket busters. Northwestern, Boise State. Real quick, Krabs. So you got there.
Yeah, I got the Broncos, man. I got the Broncos moving on. Good matchup here for Boise, in my opinion. So I'm stoked to be backing them against an overrated Northwestern team. I don't like the line flip. They opened up a favorite. Now they're +1.5, so I might have to go back to the drawing board. But as of right now, definitely have the Broncos in. I have them advancing against Northwestern, overrated team, in my opinion.
We did walk right past that Gonzaga game. I'm sorry, but me and Krabs both have Gonzaga going very far. So you guys know where we're going. Gonzaga takes care of Grand Canyon, and then UCLA, UNC Asheville. Krabs, UCLA pretty easy, but I do want to mention UNC Asheville. They have some guys who could fill it up. I think this game will be closer than people think, but UCLA wins.
Agreed. Spreads down from 19 to 17.5 already, Matt. So Asheville will cover, but UNC will win.
Yes. All right, there it is. All right, there's our first round, guys. What we're going to do tomorrow, Krabs will kind of reveal his entire bracket. Wednesday, when I'm on with Ben, I'll do mine. So we'll dive deeper. We just don't have the time. I know a lot of people want to get into their second round matchups, which will be fun. We're going to do a ton of March Madness content just today. We only have about 15 minutes left, so we're going to move along to our bets for tonight and then our bracket buster segment. So let's do that real quick. I'm going to give out some teams, Krabs, that I think could make some noise. Now, I had the bracket buster police after me last night for putting Gonzaga on here. Listen, all I'm saying is I'm not taking a team that's like a favorite to win it. You know what I mean? Like what do they have? Like the 9th or 10th best odds. Gonzaga's I'm not taking a 1 or 2 seed. That's what we're gonna do on this list. So there it is. I got Gonzaga, Miami. I think Arkansas. I told you I had them making a run. They can make some noise. Duke is a 5 seed, best 5 seed in the tournament. College of Charleston, that's more of a bust where they can like make a Sweet 16. Same thing with Penn State. I think they can go on a little bit of a run there, make some noise. Utah State's a team we kind of covered theirs at 10. They can be dangerous. Kentucky, from a talent standpoint. Kennesaw State, their whole bracket bust is winning that first game. That's pretty much them busting a bracket. And then VCU, don't sleep on them. I think they can make it into the Sweet 16. You have any thoughts on a team, Krabs, that could bust some brackets there that's not listed or even that is listed?
Yeah. Don't sleep on the Aggies of A&M. Okay. I mentioned it earlier. That's a team I think could be up in here. But I love a lot of these picks. The only one I don't really like is Charleston and Penn State, I'd say, are my probably least favorites up here. But I love me some College of Charleston. They made me some serious coin this season. And Penn State's red hot, so who knows? But, the Aggies are the only team I'd probably add to this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now you mentioned that. Well, that's what I mean. Whoever wins that Penn State game, they can make some noise. That is a legit matchup there as a 7-10. But, Miami, I think, is a team, man, that if they can get past Drake, they can go on a huge run. They're just so good offensively. They have a big who can fill it up. They have guards who can play it, anywhere. So I love Miami as a team. Jim Larranaga, Krabs. He took George Mason on a run. I think he could do it with Miami. Guy's been around the block. So not many coaches right now better in college hoops than Jim Larranaga. All right, to our final segment. But first, we are doing a $500 giveaway that we just want to remind the people that are watching of. Before we get to our best bets, simple to enter for March Madness. We're giving away $500. How you enter that is you like and subscribe to our YouTube page. Just go on any video. We do a ton of videos, so you can pick any video, like it, and then make sure to subscribe. It is at OddsChecker US, and then you are entered in for $500. All right, best bet time, Krabs. We just did all this college basketball talk, and our best bets are in the NBA. So, quick shift of gears to the NBA. What are you looking at?
Yeah, give me the Pistons and give me the points. I know they might be tanking, but I can't resist this spread, I'll be honest with you. And I like the matchup going up against a pretty banged-up Indiana Pacers team who has not been playing, incredibly well or anything super impressive recently. Nobody healed probably, no Halliburton probably, no Mathurin. Miles Turner's been out. So it's going to be, B team versus B team here, Indiana, Detroit. And I love taking the Pistons here at home, getting only a couple points, and the splits on this game are fire as well. So Give me the Pistons to keep this one close, and their makeshift squad, mainly led by James Wiseman there in the paint, to take care of business tonight and probably win this game outright, but I'm snagging the points just in case.
That's why I love it, Krabs. You're the only one who can come in here with a Pistons best bet. So, yeah, plus 3.5 on the Pistons.
It is what it is.
You just got to do it, even if it's
It'll be green. It'll be green tomorrow on the recap. Don't worry, guys.
Yep. Yes, it is. All that matters. All right, I'm going to go to a better-looking game, the Bucks-Kings. Locked in the Bucks this morning. All right, so Bucks, I did just look at the line. It's up to minus 125, minus 130 some places. This is likely because of Giannis. That, I don't know if he's 100% in for this game. I think we're kind of waiting on his status here. If Giannis plays in this,
still questionable, Matt.
Yeah, he's still questionable.
Still questionable. Yeah. I'm looking right now.
We'll see. Giannis is a dog. I got faith he'll play. He's a guy who typically will push through. Bucks did lose their last game in overtime against the Warriors. It was a really competitive game. I think the Kings regressed a little bit. Listen, the Kings, maybe the most overlooked team right now in the league. Number 2 seed out west. Not a lot of people talk about them. They have, I think statistically the best offense in basketball. So, I think the Bucks get it done tonight. Bucks don't often lose back-to-back games. I like them on the road. The fact that they're a road favorite here makes me like them. If this line was flipped and we saw the Kings -2, I'd be the other way. But the line continues to move in the Bucks' favor. I do want to make sure Giannis plays. If he does not play, I think it'll flip to the Kings probably -2, -3. At that point, sometimes you got to ride it out. It's the risk of locking in early NBA. Obviously, the Bucks could still win the game without him, with Holiday, Middleton, and company. But we will see on that. So there it is. That's going to be my best bet for tonight. The Bucks on the money line there, -115. This was on FanDuel before we did the show. Like I said, I believe it did move up to 125. Still like it there, little 10-cent movement. Maybe Giannis, starting to announce he'll play, and then Krabs going with the Pistons there, plus 3.5 on BetMGM. All right, guys, big show today. We had a lot to get through. It feels like we just ran a marathon, and that was only the first round. Just want to point that out. That's how in-depth we're going to get. Like we said, tomorrow Krabs going to give out his entire bracket to us. We're going to break down his bracket. We'll break down my bracket on Wednesday. And if you guys want to enter a bracket, just one last time, we want to remind you that you can enter a free bracket with OddsChecker US. All you have to do is fill it out. You know what I mean? Just get involved. Get into it. It's pretty easy to do. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, the link is right in our description. If you're watching us on Twitter, which many of you are, make sure to go over to our Twitter page at OddsChecker US. It is the pinned tweet to sign up. It takes 2 seconds. Get in. Free money. Winner gets $1,000. Bragging rights. If you beat me in Krabs, it'll be a good time. So try to beat us out. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for today's episode of The Morning Edge. Thanks for hanging out. And we went a little bit longer. 50-minute episode today. Long episode, but we're happy we got through. Hopefully you guys lock in some of these early bets. And we will see you guys same time tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Have a good day.